if it's not the cultural background, it's the family history. And I look at the life of my father, and he tells the stories of his father, who was probably, I think he was like half white, but still was considered a Mexican. And he, in San Angelo, Pedro Rivera used to work for the gas company. And I guess in the 30s and 40s, the gas company gave him all of the materials and tools to lay the gas lines in the barrios. He would do that at night on his own time. And I've watched my father be a man of generosity, of quiet generosity. He's not one to toot his own horn. And he was always one to really lay the values of caring for the other. And he was also one that said, you know, we don't have the luxury of making mistakes. We have to continue to do our best. Learn from the mistakes of others, but don't make the mistakes yourself. And I think that's also been really helpful. And I think the other is the stories of my mother's parents who came from Mexico after the Mexican Revolution. I mean, hearing their kind of newcomer stories as they worked for the railroad industry from Mexico all the way to Chicago and settled there in the 1920s and then moved over to California around that time when whole states of Mexico were emptying out and, you know, people were just coming up and settling in California, New Mexico, and Texas, and even up to Oregon. And hearing the challenges they had as they remained Spanish speakers. I don't think they ever really learned English. I learned Spanish. That was my first language from my grandmother. So, and I think part of the cultural undergirding, I mean, it's who I am. I'm a brown person, is really a great appreciation for the places we do intersect for others. Our histories. It didn't start with my grandparents. I mean, even the use of Spanish and going back, 800 years when the Moors were occupying Spain, and that a third of my Spanish that I speak comes from Arabic. You start to see the convergences of other places and other cultures, and I think appreciating that as well, that I am brown, but there's a whole lot of other brown people, and at some place we did have some intersections, and I think as we share those stories and hear more of the history, because I tell you there's so much that we are not informed about, and that we need to continue to pursue and investigate and be curious about one another, be curious about where we came from, and that should lead us not only where we are now in that understanding, but move us forward.